I'm notoriously very bad about starting games and not finishing games.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
So
I'm worse than you.
I wanted to sit down and actually beat one of the games that I started in 2024.
I know what it is too.
So I sat down and I played Dragon Age, the Veilguard.
Okay.
Every time I got on the PlayStation, this man was playing Dragon Age.
Last
Shout out.
time we talked about Dragon Age, I had about 15 hours in it.
Mm-hmm.
I have 65 hours now.
Nice.
I am so mad.
Oh, did you finish it? Or?
I am so mad. I missed an unmissable trophy.
Really?
I have one trophy missing.
Oh no, he
'Cause it
almost
glitched?
platinumed it.
What's that?
What'd you
Did
miss?
it glitch?
So it's the trophy that I missed is defeating all the high dragons.
Okay.
All of the high dragons are quest based.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The quest didn't show up.
Oh
Oof.
no.
I went through the end of the game expecting there to be like one in the final section of the game.
Yeah.
It wasn't there. I looked it up. I know which one I missed. I found a save that I made
Forever ago.
30 hours in,
Oof.
and I'm playing through it because it's part of Tash's quest line.
Yeah.
I'm playing through from there. I've done it. I've been like 3 hours in on that playthrough now. Like 30 hours before my final time, and I'm trying to see, because if I can't get it to show up there, because the way the Veilguard works is you're supposed to be able to play through everything until chapter 11, and chapter 11 is a point of no return, and you should play to that point, and then you should be able to do every quest. Because I looked this up after the fact.
Yeah.
And the quest just never showed up. So if it doesn't go through there, I'll probably just make a new game on the lowest difficulty, because
Just to speed run it.
there's no difficulty like trophies or anything.
No.
So I'll probably just play it on because I was playing it on the hardest difficulty
Right.
just for fun. Which also, by the way, like very rarely in games like that do I have such a stark contrast from like the first 15 hours of playing it where I was struggling through to I hit a point around 25 hours in where I don't think, like, unless it was a boss fight, and even boss fights didn't last more than maybe 30 seconds.
Dude, once you get leveled up like so far and get your skills kind of set, you can obliterate some
I had a
shit.
point where what I was going for, everything kind of clicked. And from there on, even on the hardest difficulty, which I was seeing some people like looking through like videos and stuff of other people playing it where they were like, oh man, on the hardest difficulty, everything's just like a sponge, just absorbs a bunch of damage.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what
like,
I saw too.
I was like, didn't feel that at all.
Yeah.
I felt unstoppable. Like by the end of the game, if there was more than one enemy that I was fighting, like unless it was a boss, like I could chain my ultimate constantly and just be. It was such a stark. The first 20 hours of the game, I was struggling to be able to use abilities during a fight. By the end of it, I did nothing but use abilities.
Right.
It was great.
Yeah. Overall, how'd you enjoy the game though?
It's one of the most 7 out of 10 games I've ever played.
Wow.
He stands by his statement.
He does. See, I've really enjoyed my time with it. It's been one of my favorite games of last year.
I was trying to think of a way to phrase it. I don't mean this as any kind of disparaging on the game or anything. It's like a popcorn game. You can just sit there and play through it. It's perfectly fine.
Have a good time kind of thing.
You can have a great time while playing it. If I was a big Dragon Age fan, I might be kind of annoyed because the writing is terrible. I still don't like a lot of the companions. Like a couple companions I liked having. And they kind of grew on me towards the end of it. But yeah, the writing and like choices are almost meaningless.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
There's only a couple choices that have any impact, and they're all mostly at the end of the game, and then there's one trophy related one in that you can get to that it's basically just a choice of do you convince them to help you or do you kill them?
Right.
That's the choice. and it's like it has one impact, or it has the impact. You have to help them to get the trophy for the best ending of the game. But yeah, the lack of choices being meaningful, and I mean the writing itself is bad.
The writing's pretty rough.
Yeah,
I
the-
mean,
it
I haven't
gets-
gone back to my playthrough, which is like far earlier than you were, but even something like the early stuff, I mean, yeah.
The writing is definitely not great. It's not peak BioWare by any means, but
I mean,
it's
it's
like,
Andromeda BioWare.
yeah, but it's still just like, it was fine. You know, there were some times where I was like, God, that's kind of meh. But for the most part, it's whatever. It's the way John put it as a popcorn game. I wouldn't have thought of saying it that way, but that's probably how I'd say it too.
Yeah, dialogue choices in the game, all it is depending on what characters you have in your party or what characters are in the interaction.
Yeah.
The dialogue choices just depend on if they approve on it or not to raise their standing with you.
Yeah.
That's all the dialogue is for in the game. I mean, but like I said, it's one of the most 7 out of 10 games I've played. Also, probably one of the most enjoyable, like, sit down and play experiences. When I started the game, I would not have went for the platinum. 30 hours in, I wouldn't have went. I didn't decide to go for the platinum until I was 45 hours in,
Right.
which then was a fucking pain in the ass. Because you have to do everything.
Yeah.
You have to do every companion quest line, like every side quest, raise all the factions to the highest level. You have so much that you have to do. It took a long time to get it done.
But it's sort of nice, though. You're able to do that just all in one playthrough, though.
You can platinum it in one playthrough. There are 3 missable trophies, and I got screwed by a quest not showing up, which I did look into it, and apparently, even though you're supposed to be able to do every quest, some chapter points lock it out or seem to like make some disappear. I'll probably end up having to go through. If I go through it again, I mean, I may just play Warrior again just because
You already know how to build that.
Yeah.
I know how to build it. Also, I could just play whatever because it doesn't matter. Warrior just felt incredibly strong. By the end of the game, I did an insane amount of damage, and I was basic like in a 3-minute boss fight. I would have the invulnerable buff for
Yeah.
half of it. And even when I didn't have the invulnerable buff, I had so much defenses that like I could stand in a group of enemies, all of their attacks and AoE, and barely lose any health.
Oh, I feel that because based on where I was building my mage, more or less, all that would happen is I would throw one spell to gather everyone up, and the second spell to kill everything. It was more or less where I was building my mage.
Yeah, but yeah, like on the high, I didn't think it was gonna kind of get to there because on the highest difficulty, even early on in the game, you can only take 1 hit.
Yeah.
2 hits.
Oh, yeah.
2 hits kills you.
Yeah.
By the end of the game, I mechanics didn't mean anything. Boss attacks didn't mean anything to me. I was basically invulnerable, and that was even without like bringing my. Well, even when I was doing like companion stuff and didn't have my favorite combination of like companions, I still felt like I hardly used the companion. All the companions were for was a heal, which by the end of it, I like.
Did you turn everyone into hill bots?
No, Harding was my heal bot for the entire game because I had her spec'd out where healing gave me increased damage, a bunch of other stuff, like a bunch of other buffs, and then I usually would bring. By the end of the game, I'd bring Nev mostly to freeze everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was one of the more enjoyable, like, just playing a game I've had in a while, especially like a single player game. A lot of times I prefer like to care more about the story. I don't give a shit about the story for the most part. If it was written better, I probably would have cared a little bit more. But the dialogue was, as we've said multiple times, dialogue's not great. It kind of turned me off the story for the most part, it was kind of get through it. But yeah, chapters 11 through 14 is just You start and you just go.
Yeah,
and it's
nonstop.
the entire ending sequence. And there are choices and stuff in there. Like if you want to get the best ending or get the trophies and stuff for it, you kind of have to, or you might have to look it up or think about it a little bit when you actually make your choices. Because if you put the wrong character in the situation, you're gonna lose them. But
I have seen that, yeah.
but yeah, the game for what it was, I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun.
Shout out.
Still got to go back and get my platinum though.
Hey, is that going to be your second platinum?
Yeah.
Behind Fairy Tale. Shout out.